Yeah, thanks a lot for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Shaunak Kulkarni. I'm a fourth semester master student at RWTH Jharkhand University. I'm pursuing my master's in the field of electrical power engineering. I did my bachelor's from the Institute of Technology in the field of electrical engineering. Yeah, my hobbies are I do yoga, meditation, cooking. Yeah, that's it. So it's nice to be here.
Cool. Thanks, Shaunak, for joining. So I see that you came to Germany in 2019 for your master's. So I was wondering, like, was there a reason you chose Germany?
Yeah, it's a long story actually. Like
Okay.
uh, uh, let me start it from the class 12th. Like in my class 12th I was pretty much interested in the field of physics. Like even in my JE advance I scored the highest marks in physics, so I was pretty much happy with the with solving circuits and all that Kirchhoff's law and Thevenin's theorem in my plus 2, and which made me choose electrical engineering for my bachelor's. And yeah, things went pretty good with my bachelor's, like in electrical engineering. I didn't have very good grades, neither did I have very bad grades. They were pretty decent grades. So like I thought like there are generally for an every Indian student, there are three paths that a person chooses. First is to go for a job, uh, to specialize in the field of the corporate field. Second is to pursue an MBA, and third is to pursue a higher education. So like I was pretty much bored. I was very privileged to get selected in the industry immersion program of IIT Jodhpur. Like it is a 3 year internship program that a student goes for. Like there are some five industries that used to come to my institute, and they used to interview students and select uh, to spend three consecutive summers, like summer of their first year, second year, and third year in the industry. So I was pretty privileged to be selected for that program. So I spent my three summers in the industry of automotive industry in at Mahindra Research Valley, Chennai. So it yeah, like for all 3 years, I got exposure in different divisions of the company. Like I worked in the diagnostics of the like that was a it was an operation software, and in the second summer I worked on alternators. Third semester I worked on some data analysis of hybrid function. Like it was also a testing script. So all these three uh, exposures at the industry. Apart from them, I also had a very good uh, teaching. Uh, I would hold one of my I would really uh, take the name, mention the name of my professor, Deepak Kulpani. Like he was a really good professor. Like I was quite happy with his teaching, and his teaching quite made me interested in the field of like it carried forward the interest that I had in my plus two in the field of circuit analysis, and so I further went on uh, to build up an expertise, like to try to build up an expertise in the field of power electronics. So yeah, so the like industry and my academics both came together, and like I was pretty sure that I need a higher education in the field of power electronics. So yeah, but now like this itself doesn't suffice for many students. Like okay, I'm interested in academics, but how am I not interested in management, or how am I not going to prosper in just pursuing a job? Like why just masters? Like I could have even worked in the industry of power electronics and done well in India. But like it depends. Like I since I had already experienced 6 months in the one of the leading research divisions in India. I got an idea of how the industry works in India. So that was uh, not nothing new for me. Like it was not something that I wanted to explore after my bachelor's. So since I had already covered that part, and I didn't uh, and also like I had this uh, thirst to go for higher knowledge, to go in academics. So job was not thing for me, and management. I'm not a management guy. Like that's pretty. That's pretty certain from my behavior. Like I was more into sitting alone and trying to study on and specialize on a certain topic. So yeah, so masters was a natural choice for me till got to my fourth year. But I didn't immediately go for a master because I still like even in my fourth year I answered my GRE in October 2017. Like in the October, like in my fourth year, at the start of my fourth year, I had a good score. Like since your GRE score is applicable for 5 years, so I knew like okay, let us give a time to. I thought like I should first search for different universities and then like because like since we do our bachelor's only once in our life, so we do a master's, like so we should be very considerate and uh, like you should at least have a good research before going opting any university, right? So I for that I just took a break of 1 year. So I passed out in 2018. So for 1 year I worked in a startup in IIT Hyderabad in the field of as a developer in the field of computer networks. It was a leading startups in WiSig networks. Again, like people may even ask, like, if you were so certain about Power Electronics, why did you go for a research startup in computer networks? Again, like it was like, okay, I have an interest in Power Electronics, but how do I have not built an interest in other fields? So I just wanted to give it a shot, and it was a really good opportunity. Like it was an amazing atmosphere to work in India. Like it was IIT Hyderabad is also one of the leading institutes in terms of research and communication engineering. So yeah, so yeah, like I did a 1 year of job, and then yeah, then coming to the part of how I shortlisted universities, then I had applied. Maximum majority of the universities were in the USA, but like since RWTH has a free program, like my course is free, like I don't need to pay uh, the tuition fees here. I just need to cover up my living costs. So and also RWTH is world number 33 in the field of electrical engineering. It's one of the best in the Europe. So yeah, like all these things came together, and yeah, it was a natural choice for me.
Cool. So let's talk more about scores. So what was your score in 12th?
12th, okay.
What's your
In 12th,
aggregate, more or less?
yeah, yeah. Like as far as I know, I was not at all serious about my HSC board. Like I answered my Maharashtra State Board 12th examination. I got okay, like 83%, which was less according like if you compare with my JE score or JE main score, because all of my friends were scoring 90 above, but it was okay. Like it didn't matter a lot to me. In JE mains, I scored 232 out of I guess 360. Yeah, and in advanced, my score was 179 out of 360. So it was my AIR rank was 4631. Yeah,
Awesome. And then what was your, so before coming to Europe, you wrote your TOEFL or IELTS or any,
TOEFL. Yeah,
so what is your TOEFL score?
my TOEFL score was 106 out of 120. I guess yeah, 106.
Okay. And what about your GRE? Did you write that for the US university?
Yes, I was initially planning to go to USA, and I had also filled applications for that. But also, like RWTH and TU Munich, both of these universities, which I had applied for in Germany, they both asked for GRE scores. So my GRE score was 323 out of 340, and my like uh, the analytics AWS score was 410.
Okay.
Yeah.
And coming back to your college days, how did you know that, all right, I want to do my master's? Was that a conscious choice, or did your professor, like you said, who was really inspiring, give you an idea to, hey, you should do your master's? How did that come about?
My professor didn't specifically motivate me to go for a master. He just motivated his teaching and like systematic behavior. It inspired me to be devoted to my field, like to pursue my field with passion. Like I had So I had many failures. Like even now, I go through many failures in my field, but this one thing has kept going on. Like that is the passion for the field. So once that is there, like yeah, like then masters is the only choice. Like yeah, like you can go in the corporate or industry, but to go there on the bachelor level, you don't get that like good exposure, or they do like it's very natural for the industry. Like they would definitely trust a master student more with their research than a bachelor student. So getting a master degree is always on a positive side.
Right. And how how much did you had to prepare before applying for masters? Like for example, you had to go through dat.de website and send applications. So walk me through that. How was your application process like before
Yeah,
applying?
yeah. Like initially, like I just went through uh, like since I was very I had been doing projects in the field of power electronics since my bachelor's. I was pretty conscious of all different like we go through many research publications, right? So we see which labs are pretty good. Like also I had been doing some Coursera courses on power electronics. Like there is a 6 course specialization on Coursera. So that was like there's a very good university in the field of power electronics, that is the University of Colorado Boulder. So I need like this preliminary research. Like I knew that okay, these universities are good in these fields. So I that so it became easier for me to shortlist the universities. Apart from that, you also go through QS ranking, like which ranking is better, where you have good job opportunities. Like it pretty much depends on how, like if you want to pursue a PhD, then okay, then you see which institute has good faculties or good uh, or maybe good research labs or good coursework for that matter. All these things matter while you apply for universities. And coming to Germany, you go to dart.de. Then dart.de, obviously, like I just typed there power engineering, and then I got different courses. I guess there are three universities. One is TU Munich. They offer just power engineering. They don't specifically offer electrical power engineering. Like so, you have to also do courses from the mechanical engineering. Uh, then RWTH. RWTH also has a very good program in the field of electrical power engineering. And there is BTU Corpus. So these three universities, I had applied for all three. Then I got selected for TU Munich and RWTH. So RWTH was my choice.
Cool. Um, I really like the factor that you mentioned that you had the devotion for the subject and you were really inspired to keep up with the field. How does one get that? Like when you're studying in India, it's so easy to, not care. Like when did you start caring?
Yeah, like to be honest, like this is my own behavior. Like I get bored of things very early. So, like since I spent my 3 summers in the industry, I had seen the industry and I knew that okay, uh, I may get good project to work on, but this is not the end. Like okay, like I'll get money and then that's the end. I'll stop there. Also, like the atmosphere in IIT Jodhpur was pretty good. Like there was a very valuable exchange among students. Like I learned a lot with my fellow student along with the professors and uh, the faculties. Like this this exchange among students. Like we used to talk like what things. So person automatically analyzes himself and thinks about the plans of the future. So this was pretty natural for me. So like yeah, like if we are not devoted to something, how are we going to be expert in it? Like that is the basic thing that it requires. If you're going to like electrical engineering is very like sometimes it becomes very theoretical. Like you have to just keep in touch with it. Like if you lose that, it's not like computer science. Like okay, you have the logical mind. You can anytime sit on the code and just use your brain and keep like that. But electrical engineering asks for a very consistent dedication. Like there is no other. way towards it. So yeah, like I knew what's not for me. So and I knew what is okay for me. So okay, what's not for me gets uh, rejected, but what's okay can be made good by a consistent effort. So yeah, that's the that's the way it goes.
Wow. And I also was wondering, how did you crack IIT? So after your 12th standard, I think every parent's dream that their kid goes to IIT. So how did you go about uh, cracking it?
Uh, Before that, I am an alumnus of IIT Jodhpur, so I'm not one of those old prestigious IITs. So I'll give my answer won't be that inspiring for those who are looking to go for good IIT. But like yeah, like I was very good in my academics. Like even in my school, I had always been a topper, and I was good with my with maths, very good with my maths. Uh, so yeah, like since my eighth standard, I had reached the last level of National Talent Search exam. Also, like there is a Maharashtra Talent Search examination. Like I had qualified that exam for all 3 years, eighth, ninth, and tenth. Uh, like yeah, then since you are among the best students in your city, then obvious choice for every Indian student becomes IIT. Like you should go for an IIT coaching. So for the ninth and tenth standard, since like all my friend circle, like like we were really good. Like it was one of the best friend, like academically best circles in my city of my batch. So all joined the coaching IIT foundation coaching in ninth and tenth standard. And yeah, like if you do well in your ninth and tenth standard, obviously the coaching class will also try to keep you with them. So I also got 50% scholarship for my 11th and 12th in that coaching class. And that's how like I went. Like I was even uh, in my 12th standard, I qualified the Kishore Vaigyanik Protsahan Yojana. That is an examination that one needs to qualify to go for ISRs, like Indian Institute of Science Educational Research or something like that. I don't know the full form, but they are the IITs of sciences like physics, chemistry, maths. Like if you want to pursue BScs and MScs, they are the best in India, I would say. And IIC Bangalore, like that, I had qualified that examination, and I had also qualified the state level for the national level of chemistry Olympiad. Yeah, so all these things and yeah, IIT was also a natural choice for me, like good mathematics and all that. And like you don't have like even in your 11th and 12th standard, you are not that you can say conscious or aware that okay, there are so many fields. Like I sometimes wonder, like okay, why just IIT? Like I had qualified Kishore Vaidyanik Protsahan Yojana. I was interested in physics. Maybe I could have gone there and done well because we don't value and respect other institutions at all in India. While they are really good, like why can't you pursue your career in sciences? Like, but it's just an Indian mentality that okay, get your job fixed, then baat ka baat mein dekh lenge, like that. And yeah, like I had also gone for BitSat and JEE means my score was not that good. Like my board, 12th board, we had a weightage, 25% weightage of the both boards as well. So my board's rank was not that good. So JEE was means like NITs were anyway out of my zone, but I had a choice to make between new IITs and BITS. But again, like since there is a your mind itself gets so much conditioned in the way that you only go for an IIT, whether it is an old one or new one. So yeah, even when it came to BITS and IIT, I went for IIT Jodhpur.
Okay, interesting. And how did you survive there? So it's easy to get in. How did you get out?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. Like, yeah, like this is like even in your coaching, like 12th, 11th, and 12th, there's an atmosphere. Like it is a utopia. Like you are just told that okay, you love table tennis, you'll get it there. You love food, you'll get it there. You love this, you'll get it there. Like that this thing is framed in your mind, and once you reach there, that one first semester just goes on in that euphoria, like you are just wow, like it just like release, you just release all the stress and you're like, okay, I want to. But it's not at all the thing, like it's just a start. Like that's the thing, like our education system, it doesn't stress that education is a devotion, like you have to keep going on and on and on, it never ends. Like, but we think that we make it goal oriented, and then we put extra effort, we make ourselves, we just lose all the energy, we make ourselves overburdened, and then we lose our energy for the further race, and then we again fall back. So yeah, like first semester again my pointer was not that good, because I was exactly in the same scene, like I lost my energy and rigor. And like there are many clubs in IITs. Like there's an absolutely amazing student life. So you keep like you have people to discuss anything that you want, literally from politics, from anything, like anime, TV series, everything you can discuss. Like even religion, people are just amazing. Like and like apart from studies, you like even in addition to studies, you'll get everything to do it there. So yeah, like when you have so much options, then person gets a bit uh, deviated. So that happened to me, but yeah, in subsequent semesters I picked up. uh, in my second semester it was a bit better than my first. But yeah, in the third and fourth semester, it's like everybody, they pop back, like they're like, okay, let us regain the energy now. And most of the students, they perform really well. Those who fall back, like average itself goes down in first and second semester, because not just that release of stress, but I'm a Maharashtrian, and in like I went to Jodhpur. It's a desert, like food is different, weather is very different, and then you are away from parents. It's just teenage, right? Like 17 and 18, like then it's a very big cultural change for a student. So all these factors make them, but by the time of second year, many students come back. Like even I had scored a good um, grade in my second year, and yeah, then since second year, things start picking up. Like you also could do better at your academics. You start enjoying. For me, second year was the best time for me. Like in third year, you start thinking about your future. Fourth year, obviously, you have placements and plans of your masters and all that. But second year is the best time.
Right. So you said that you get a lot of time to explore uh, things that are beyond your studies.
Yeah,
And what did you explore during your 3 4 years? That
yeah. Like I was not like completely getting into it and just doing it for the fun. I always have an attitude of what will I get out of it. Like uh, I was always planning for my future. Like I always used to think that how if I'm going, if I'm investing some time in it, I'll always think about future, like whether it is worth enough to pursue my masters or something like that. And apart from, if not, then I used to do it completely for my fun and leisure. Like then yeah, for fun. I was a part of I was a part of a drama club. Like I used to do street plays. Uh, I used to just love it, and like I also used to direct. Like I was a good actor. We also used to write the script of all that street play, and they used to be on different social issues. We had a very good intellectual group in our institute, and we had amazing exchanges with all of them. Like the discussions that we used to have, it was so amazing that it just enriched me a lot. Uh, but again, like even like with all that knowledge, many people were asking me like, why don't you go for civil services? You have so good knowledge. But like we get an idea of ourselves, like, okay, I'm not a leadership, I cannot do leadership or that, I'm not for that thing. So okay, you may have knowledge, you may have uh, uh, interest to pursue that thing, but if it doesn't coincide with your behavior, then it will definitely make you miserable in long run. Like like cracking exam is easier. Like I got that lesson from JE. Like okay, you may be good at physics, chemistry, maths, but programming and all that, physics, chemistry, maths is pretty different from programming and engineering. So you may qualify civil services exam, but the civil servant is very different from the examination. Like that's the problem with Indian system. So yeah, yeah, like apart from that, yeah, like rest I explored different fields maybe. Yeah, like courses and uh, focus on my career. Yeah, like since I knew that leadership is not for me, then other options were pretty rejected.
Cool. Tell me more about how you got the internship with the networking company and how that came about to be.
Yeah, that was mm, it was a campus offer on campus placement. Like they had come on they had come on campus. It was the first was a telephonic round, and later on we were called in Hyderabad. It is a startup actually, and it was a full time job, not an internship.
Right.
So yeah, so we went to Hyderabad, and yeah, like they interviewed us, and I was selected for that. It's not some, yeah, it's very common like campus placement thing.
Okay. And were you conscious that you were okay with moving to any part of India, or Hyderabad was you chose a startup in India? You could have definitely gone to many other companies, right?
Yeah, but no, like I just wanted to spend a year closer to my hometown, so it just came through, like came along together. Like it was a good thing. So yeah, I was close to my hometown. But anyway, even I was pretty okay with staying in any part of India. That was not an issue for me. Okay with even after my masters, I'm okay to go in any part of the world. So place like location is not a problem for me because every location comes with its new learnings. And if you stay like I stayed in Jodhpur, like the temperature in summers goes up to 50 degrees, and in winters it goes up to 5 degrees. So it is a very big challenge to stay. But once you stay there, once you adapt to that location, then again like now I stay in Aachen. Like Aachen, it doesn't get that cold here. Like it just at maximum it goes -5 in winters, and it's not that a big challenge to stay. But it's okay. Like you become stronger. Like if you stay at different locations.
Right. So the plan was always to apply for masters even when you're working. So is that correct? Or
Yes.
okay, so
Yeah, I
you
was like even from the second like I spent 1 month in my company, uh, but parallelly like it was a very good exposure. Like I would tell you, like it is a very good place to pursue your career in computer networks and communication engineering. But parallelly I was like, okay, what if things go wrong and I don't develop an interest? So right from the second day I was parallelly studying. Like I was going through the Coursera courses from the University of Colorado Boulder. Like every evening I used to come back and I used to study for 2 hours. And yeah, by the time I had to apply for the universities, I was clear that okay, I should rather go for a master's now. I should not leave my passion and directly go for a different field that is I didn't seem practical to me. So
right. So I'm wondering how it was for you when your day zero in Germany. So was there a culture shock? And now that you've been here for almost more than 3 years, what are the things that you like about Germany compared to India?
yeah, like first day was very interesting. Uh, like we Indians have only like when we see foreign, like if we imagine a foreign country, then we imagine of USA, or at a max like we think of Canada or UK, the English speaking world. We are completely unaware of non-English world. Like there is a part of world that doesn't speak English that is doing absolutely well. So like that is a big shock. That was a big shock for me because I was imagining Germany like USA, but I came here and it was very different. Like very different. Like uh, English is a part, but it's not that frequently spoken here. So I would still like advise everyone to better learn German before coming here. Although my course is completely in English, or even maybe tomorrow I'll get a job which will not require me to speak German, but still I would suggest everyone to learn German before coming to Germany. And yeah, like first day it was like food. We assume that we will get a lot of food, but uh, food is a big issue in here, if, especially when you're a vegetarian. So you have limited choices. You should know cooking. Like cooking is a must. Like if you're a good cook before coming here, then you won't face a problem. But I just learned cooking, and this was the first experience without guidance. This first action without guidance. So starting days were pretty terrible. Like I I used to just mess up food, and I had the worst part is that I was forced to eat it because you mess the food and you should eat it. So yeah, starting days food was a challenge. Whether okay, you come in October if you're coming in autumn, if you're coming in fall, or then weather is not an issue because generally in September it was around 17 to 18 degrees, which was pretty good. Like I didn't feel that a shock. But other thing is people follow rules. Like people are very particular about rules, and like even like in India we see a vacant like an empty street, we just walk through it. But in Germany, like if there is a red signal and it's 12 o'clock and no the still for kilometers there's no one on the road, still vehicles stop at the red signal. That is an amazing thing. Like so it takes time for you to adapt to those things. There are many minor things that are shock that come as a shock, especially in winters. Like the day becomes very smaller and it keeps raining a lot. So first winter it is pretty depressing for everyone, like to adapt to this reduced daylight and like dull weather.
Cool. And what are the thing? What do you like about Germany?
Germany is like it is the most ordered place on planet Earth, I would say. Everything is ordered, everything falls in place. Like if uh, if a bus will if your bus is supposed to come at 8:48, then the bus will come at 8:48. Like you should be there, and if you're certain, then everything will just go very good for like if you are very sincere, then everything will go very good for you. That is the best thing about Germany. I even say that people are disciplined and people are very hardworking. Like it's not like USA. Like there is no night culture here. Like especially in my city, everyone goes to sleep by 8 or 9, and they wake up. The day starts at 6 a.m. Whether it is winter or summer. That is an amazing thing for a nation. Like when you have built that culture. So that is there in Germany. Also coming to technology, it is one of the best in the world. Like uh, the transition that currently Germany is making into renewables or maybe electric mobility, that is amazing in Europe. So yeah, like these technology, nobody can hold hand. Germany, like it's the best among the world.
Cool. Right. So Shaunak, can you tell me how you found your internship?
Yeah. So for your information, I did my internship at Robert Bosch GmbH, German, Stuttgart. So I worked in the field of loss modeling for an automotive for the switches of an automotive inverter. So I was searching for a student assistantship job in my second semester. Generally, first semester you complete your courses, and since from a second semester you start searching for student assistantship job. We call it HIVI in Germany. So I had been searching that throughout the semester, but it was a pandemic, and despite of a lot of efforts, I didn't get one. So one of my seniors he suggested that why don't you go for an internship? Like you will get your credits. Like we have 22 credits reserved for an internship that we are supposed to complete before completing our masters. So yeah, like I started applying, and I was very lucky that just within my 20 applications, I got a call from Bosch. So in it, the internships in Germany they are very different. Like you are not companies don't come in your campus and then you don't go for an interview. You directly go to individual websites of all those companies, and then you see what all openings are there, and according to the opening you are supposed to apply. And if your uh, uh, like application is good enough, then you will get a call for an interview. That's how it works. So yeah, like since my internship is compulsory, like we have two things in Germany. Like if your internship is included in your curriculum, then it's a compulsory internship. Like you are supposed to complete it. So and if it's not, then it's a voluntary internship. So the company knows, like the company asks you before applying, like if whether it's a mandatory or it's a voluntary internship. So according to that mandatory internship, it is easy to get. Like that's why maybe I got it pretty early. But since in this pandemic, it is like many companies are on cost cutting, so it is difficult to get voluntary internship. But still, some of my friends have got voluntary internships as well. So depends. Like currently, even I am searching one. Like I'm searching a student assistantship now. Hope I get one soon.
Right. Yeah. I think your generation of students is the hardest because you were directly affected by the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
So like I would have found it really hard if I was studying around at your time, especially. So how did you adjust when your classes became completely online? Did it change the experience of the education system in Germany, or was it a smooth transition for you?
Yeah, like in my I had only one semester of offline classes. Since my second semester, everything went online because pandemic hit in March 2020. So after that, I everything was online. Initially, since I had just one semester of offline courses, it was not that difficult to transition into online mode, because if it had been like a long experience and then uh, an abrupt change into online, then it would have been a difficult thing for me. But it was okay. Like uh, things change. Like it's just online is just online. Like you cannot expect anything different. Like in-person class, okay, an in-person class in India would be different from that in Germany, but online classes are pretty same everywhere, because there's a lecturer, there's a screen, and somebody speaking there. So like during my internship, uh, I didn't take money courses. Like I just took one or two courses, because it is like since you're full-time employed there, you cannot completely devote your time to the courses. But this semester I've completely devoted myself to the courses. So hopefully I should complete my coursework so that I could start thesis next semester. So yeah, even this semester is online, and I'm having online class.
Thank you so much for talking to me and taking the time out. And I'll see you again later, sometime